G'day guys, today I'm going to do a test between the Hikoki half-inch router and the new Milwaukee half-inch router. We're going to do a runtime test. Now, unfortunately, it's not going to be under load because it's too tricky to evenly do something under load with differences in timber, starting and stopping times, all that sort of stuff, and just getting confused with it all, to be honest. So I'm going to put a battery on each one of these and we're just going to run them on the bench. They've got the same bit in each one. They're set the same height above the bench, just as sort of wind and resistance of the weight of the bit and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to put a 5 amp hour battery on the Milwaukee here and a 5 amp hour 18 volt battery on here as well, which also doubles up as a 2.5 amp hour 36 volt battery. This is a 36 volt tool. This is an 18 volt tool. Pretty tricky to get the same batteries depending on how you look at it, but these batteries both put out the same amount of energy. This is a 90 watt hour battery and this is a 90 watt hour battery, and so that is what I am going to use. They are both freshly charged and ready to go. Oh, better show you that one, because some people don't believe stuff. So there we go. They're both ready to go. I am going to stick a timer in the background here and in between them like that, and we'll just run them on the bench. They're both on their highest setting, which is 6, and conveniently for both tools that means 25,000 RPM. Right, place your bets. Is it going to be the high drawing 18 volt on the right here? Needs to pull more power out of the battery, this thing, just to run, because it's only doing 18 volts. This thing, pulling 36 volts, doesn't have to pull as much to get the same job done, but it's only 2.5 amp hour at 36 volt, 5 amp hour at 18 volt. What's going to happen? Who's going to run the longest? Place your bets now. Stick it down in the comments now. Who do you think's going to win? Before I start, Hikoki or Milwaukee, and how long do you think they're going to run for? Stick your guesses down below and let me know if you were close at the end. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to have to set the clock going first and then... Stop, Dammy. Well, that took a lot longer than I hoped. I mean, it's good. The longer the better for running tools, of course, but when you're doing a test for YouTube, kind of wanted it to be over a little bit quicker. So to all of you who thought that a 36 volt tool would run out twice as fast as an 18 volt tool because it's using double the voltage, you've just seen that that is not the case, certainly not in this test, with the Milwaukee running out at around 21 minutes and 15 seconds and about 27:45 for the Hikoki. So what's that? 6.5 minutes longer for the Hikoki. So that's around, quick calculation, sort of 30% more runtime from the Hikoki than you got with the Milwaukee. Now, under load, they might behave very differently to this test. I mean, of course, they will run for a far shorter length of time, but also one of them might use up the juice a bit quicker than the other when under load. But that's just an interesting comparison to see that this didn't run out twice as fast as this, and this is sucking a heap of juice, so ended up sucking up 5 amp hours worth of power. Same amount of power though, of course, 90 watt hours. So this used up all the available energy 25% to 30% quicker than the multi-volt battery there on the Hikoki. I was going to do a bunch of other batteries on this, like test the high output 6 and the new Forge battery, but I think it'll be rather long, the test, and yeah, I don't have that much time left in my life to just keep testing batteries on routers. So thanks for watching. That was just a simple little test I wanted to do, and hope you found it vaguely interesting. Forgot to talk about the heat. Now this got up to 45 degrees and 45, 46 at top temperature, whereas the Hikoki battery running at about 33 degrees, vaguely warm to touch. Milwaukee feels pretty damn hot to touch, and currently at hottest point there in the middle, 45 degrees. So she's pretty toasty. That's another advantage of 36 volt batteries or any higher voltage. The higher the voltage, the cooler the battery will run. It's not having to work as hard as an 18 volt. The lower the voltage, the harder it has to work. It's not the other way around like some people seem to think. This, to put out the same amount of power as this, has to draw much quicker, and so it gets much hotter. But with newer tech like the pouch cell batteries in the Forge battery and new tabless cells that are coming out at the moment, that will also help get batteries cooler and mean they can suck out the juice faster and produce even more power for the tools and all that good stuff. But overall, this one running much cooler. The tool is, you can't even feel any heat on it. Feels cold. This feels very toasty, very, very warm. Although only 45 degrees here on the outside, and when you consider the ambient temperature in here, the back wall is 25 degrees anyway, so the room temperature 25 degrees, so it's only gone up 20 degrees from room temperature. But I'm now going to chuck this battery on this charger for the charger video that I'm also doing at the same time, the Milwaukee M18 supercharger. So gonna see how that reacts now with this hot battery. So if you want to see that video, make sure you're subscribed. I'll see you all again soon. Cheers. So did you notice something a bit different there? The Hikoki goes along like that. So your hands are moving forward with your piece of timber and your tool, whereas the Milwaukee, they're on the side. They're not round like that. Ideally, I'd rather it was like that. But that's not the way this thing is set up, unfortunately. You have to go sideways. So it means you can push hard that way. I think I prefer that for that orientation of work. Unfortunately, it is the same on the fixed base as well, so not as good with the fence perhaps as this one.